On this episode of Conservative Contradictions, we got this guy.
We've seen the critical race theory, the LGBTQ grooming. Well, there is an answer. We stand shoulder to shoulder with Dr. Scarborough. Right now, we as Christian missionaries need to be invading the school boards to take back that ground. We need to be invading public education for those kids that are trapped in it. We need Christian teachers that aren't afraid to stand up for truth and aren't afraid to lose their job if need be to try to reach that mission field that's in there.
You know what really makes my butt itch? Is when conservatives try to weaponize grooming against the LGBT community when there's literally more grooming going in their party and their religion, but they don't want to talk about that right there. A lot of folks don't want to get into it, but the way that we talk about Christianity in America is literally pushed through a Eurocentric lens that kind of sanitizes and romanticizes everything white folks do in the name of Christianity, or should I say evangelizing. It's really Christian nationalism. You see what I'm saying? You say we have freedom of religion until the religion is not what you want it to be. They say we got freedom of speech until something about the LGBTQ or CRT and you're speaking about something you don't want them to speak. Can we get a little deeper? Yes, we can. So, when we start talking about the sensationalizing of teen pregnancies and you want to get into chastity belts and get into abstinence, you don't want to talk about how a lot of those teenage girls are victims of being groomed by old men. Republicans went from pushing a grooming panic to forcing kids to give birth. Make that make sense. The internal link is there. For the people in the back, what the dude was advocating for is narratives that American military has projected onto foreign nations to invade because, hey, they pushing Islam, they forcing it on them in the schools, and they oppressing people over there, so we got to go and get them. That's literally what y'all do in America. You know what, too? Uniquely, a lot of Republicans be loving to do that because, hey, money and military and invasions and things. And they might try to cause a whole bunch of propaganda in many instances about what's going on in blue states. But in red states like Tennessee, they are pushing for legislation to legalize child marriage. Now, at the beginning of this video, I said a whole bunch of words about Christian supremacy, about Eurocentric views. I think it deserves some unpacking, right? I'm going to let my boy Donnell tell y'all some things.
Check out this post. I don't know who needs to hear this, but you don't have a biblical worldview. You have a worldview shaped by your subculture's interpretation of Christianity that is shaped by whiteness, individualism, patriarchy, and capitalism. Admit influences, purge bad ones, change systems. Powerful. Many people struggle with the idea that the Christian Bible is an ambiguous text, and all that means is that it's open to more than one interpretation. So when I encounter people who rationalize their bigotry by claiming to have a biblical worldview, I think about whose interpretation of the Bible is being centered in those conversations, and who has the power to determine what is labeled biblical. And I often realize that they are not standing on the word of God. They are standing on the words, practices, and norms of white supremacy.
That's what I mean by how this country has romanticized and sanitized a lot of Christian supremacy, white nationalism. Conservative Contradictions is claiming that you're for conserving the Constitution while pushing things that are unconstitutional, like pushing Christianity on people in schools, like using the government to forge a relationship between church and state. Conservative Contradictions is saying that you are for real history when it comes to folks trying to take down the statues with the Confederacy, but you're not for real history when it comes to teaching CRT. Education is elevation, man. Can't make this up.